Hello, hello, it's Julie Davison from juliedavison.com. Welcome to Thursday Night Stamp Therapy. Today we are doing something special, and it is another Stamp Along With Me edition. So I would love for you to gather some supplies and stamp with me. I'm going to try to go slow enough so that you... so that you can follow along. I'm laughing and I'm hoping that you cannot hear the lawn people outside. They decided to come like 10 minutes ago to my neighbor's house. So the lawnmower's been going. Now they've got the leaf blower going. My dogs are going crazy. So hopefully it doesn't come across. You'll have to let me know if you can hear them. And hopefully they'll be done soon. Okay, so if you have not already gathered supplies, if you missed my post or if you're watching the replay, you are going to need a paper trimmer, one piece of 12 by 12 designer paper. You're going to need 6 sheets of colored cardstock for your card bases, 2 sheets of coordinating colored cardstock for your layers, and 2 white sheets or vanilla, depending on your designer paper, for inside layers. Also, I have linked this in the video description. If you printed it ahead of time, great. If not, don't worry, because we're going to follow along today, but I just wanted to put this out there so that you, if you wanted to print it and follow along while you are watching, then you can. So this is available. It's a free PDF to download, just some basic card making folds. And this is what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to make 12 different cards using just these basic fun folds, a Z fold and a gate fold. And there's 2 different ways that you can do them, either portrait or landscape. So we're going to talk about that and how to cut them on your cutter. Then we're going to cut the designer paper and we're going to cut the layers. I'm going to show you some easy ways to layer the designer paper. And then I'm going to embellish my cards with some sentiments that I pre-cut from the Share Sunshine PDF. This is something special that Stampin' Up! Is doing. It actually ends like really soon, I think next week on Tuesday. So if you haven't gotten your Share Sunshine PDF yet, it's a $12 donation and you get 15 pages of digital stamps. These sentiments are all appropriate for our social distancing pandemic days. So just some really clever things. I changed out of my night pajamas into my day pajamas to send this card. So lots of fun sayings in black and also in different colors. And then there are a few images as well. Of course, we have to do toilet paper. Here's a quarantini. So you can see a lot of the images on the link. And if you would like to get this PDF, I just printed this on Whisper White cardstock. And then you can see I used my punches and dies to die cut and punch some of these images out. So you can get yours. It's a $12 donation and 100% of the proceeds are donated. So you can get that at covid19.stampinup.com, and it's all handled through like a Shopify or something link. So it's not like a regular product in the online store. But this is where I got all of the sayings that I'll be using on my cards. Now I'm interested how many of you have gotten the Share Sunshine PDF. Have you been using those and making fun cards? Here's a card I made a couple weeks ago during one of our Thursday night stamp therapies, so it kind of had a fun fold, and I used the walruses, which have since sold out. They're no longer available, but I used this sentiment. I've just been working on my home body that came from that PDF. Okay, so let's really quick. I want to just talk about the last chance list because we are in the last week of the annual catalog, and that means that a bunch of things are selling out. I just updated the list last night. So this one is a few weeks old. Now there's a whole bunch of red. Red means sold out. So a lot of the stamp sets are selling out. There's still so much, and especially so much yellow. There's so many things that are on sale. So especially designer paper. So if you're looking for designer paper, punches, dies, you've got to make sure that you check out this list, which I'm pretty sure I linked in the description. Check out the list and make sure to get your order in by June 2nd. Now, the paper I'm using is from the Dino Roar paper. This is one that's in the annual catalog and it's retiring, and it is so cute. It's got dinosaurs and different patterns, and some of these coordinate with the dies. You can die cut right from the designer paper. So if you have any little boys or dino lovers in your life, then you absolutely need some Dino Roar paper. So this paper that I'm using came from this set, and it is on sale. So make sure you check that out. This is exciting news. They just announced this. New demonstrators who join starting June 3rd through the 30th can pick a free bundle. A bundle, guys, a stamp set and a tool, like a stamp set and dies or a stamp set and a punch for free. Any bundle from the new catalog, yay! So this starts next week on June 3rd, and if you join my team, it's $99 plus tax. You get to choose $125 of stuff, your choice, from the brand new catalog, and you get to pick a free bundle. Like, it's an insanely amazing deal. If you have any questions or want to know more, you can let me know. I'm going to put these on the side because we're not doing new catalog today. Today we are doing some basic card making. Are you guys ready? Do you have your stuff? I'm going to do a really super quick share over here so that everybody in the Share and Connect group can find us. Now, if you're not on the Share and Connect group, I hope that you will, I hope that you'll join us over there, because I would love for you to share the cards that you make so that we can see how your cards turned out. So make sure to join that group so that you can share your cards and see what everybody else is doing over there too. So I'm just going to share it really quick so everybody over there can find us. Stamp with us live. Okay. Posting that. All right, guys, let's really get down to business. We're going to make 12 cards tonight. So, like I said, hopefully you guys can follow along. I'm going to try not to go too fast, but we're going to start with the card bases. So I'm going to put this stuff aside. I'm using Old Olive for all of my card bases. You may be using different colors. Maybe you're using some Old Olive. Maybe you're using Old Olive or a different color, multiple colors. Can you hear the leaf blower? Is it crazy? I really hope you can't. I feel like it's just getting louder. Okay. So when you cut a piece of cardstock, this is 8.5 by 11. We're here in the United States, and there's two different ways that you can cut it. So the way everybody cuts it to make a standard size card is to cut it in half at 5.5. Deanna, yes, I can see you. And I can see many of the comments. I'm sorry that I haven't been responding. I will try to respond to questions as I can. Sometimes it's hard to stamp and to reply at the same time. So if I miss a question that you've asked, don't worry. I will absolutely come back at the very end. Can you guys hear me okay? Trina's saying that she can't hear, but hopefully that is not a universal issue. Okay, so we're going to cut at 5.5. This is kind of a standard cut. Now my paper trimmer here has two blades. There's a cutting blade and a scoring blade. This is the new Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. And so I cut in half. We've got the markings here at the top. There's centimeters at the very top and then inches. And our paper trimmer has a arm that comes out. So we can cut all the way up to 17. It doesn't even fit in the camera. We can cut all the way up to 17 inches. I'm going to keep it closed because we don't need any of the higher measurements. So I cut in half at 5.5. And then for a standard card, you would score at 4.25. So this is at the top of the sheet. A standard size card base is a half a sheet of cardstock. You can cut at 8.5. Cut the 8.5, or we start at the top. Cut the 11-inch side at 5.5. That's what we just did. And then score and fold at 4.25. So this is like a regular card base. The other way to cut it is to cut down the middle this way. So this is the 8.5 side that's at the top. And I'm going to line it up at 4.25 and cut. So this is the other way that you can make a regular card base, is half a sheet of cardstock this way. And then the score would be at 5.5. So I'm going to slide that back in here and line it up at 5.5. And that's where I'm going to score. And that's how you make a card base with a fold at the top. So again, these are just basic card making folds, 2 different ways to cut the cardstock. Now, I have it so the fold is at the top, but you can also turn your card and have the fold on the side and have a card that opens that way or a card that opens that way. Following so far? So I'm just going to actually keep these cards. No, maybe I'll go ahead and we'll do the Z fold. So let's open these back up. Let's start with the first one that we did. So this is the 5.5 by 8.5, and I've got 2 of these pieces. And we already scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to go back and score the other one at 4 1/4. Okay, so I've got 2 card bases from 1 sheet of cardstock. I scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Oh dear, I've frozen. I'm going to try to turn off the, let me see about turning off my Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so I turned off the Wi-Fi, so hopefully we won't be frozen anymore. And I don't think that you've missed much. So we've got 2 card bases that are half a sheet of cardstock. I scored at 4 1/4. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you guys aren't frozen. I did turn off the Wi-Fi, so if there was any freezing on my end, that should have fixed it. Okay, so 4 1/4 down the center. Now for the first fun fold that we're gonna do, this is called the Z fold card. So we score down the middle like we've done, and then we're going to score again. And I'm going to put it back in here, and I'm going to score at half of the card front. So for 4 1/4, half of that is 2 1/8 inch. So I'm going to line the cardstock right up here at 2 1/8 and score. And I'm going to do that on both of them, 2 1/8 and score. So then for the Z fold, you fold it in half, and then you fold the front half back. So that is the simple Z fold card. So it kind of looks like a Z. Okay, so I'm going to walk through it again because we're going to score, or we're going to do one more Z fold. Let me see here. Let's get out another piece of paper. And so for this one, we cut at 5 1/2. And then we're going to score at 4 1/4. And then backing it up at 2 1/8, or I'm looking at my directions and I actually said 6 3/8. So if you open this up and do the 4 1/4 first, then you can extend it and do 6 3/8, and you're just getting the second score line on the other side. But it works out the same way. So we score it in half, and then we score that in half. So this is our third Z fold. And this, I'm calling this a portrait or a vertical card, but you could easily make it go this way instead. But I'm just, for ease of sake, we're doing it this way. Okay, so we have 3 Z fold card bases that are portraits. Now we're going to bring back the hot dog style ones that we did. Is this hot dog? Yeah. Sometimes people call that hot dog because when you cut it down the middle, it's long like a hot dog. Okay, so we've got, and let me show you how to do this again. So we're going to take a piece of 8 1/2 by 11 cardstock, and we're lining up at 4 1/4, and we're going to cut in half. Okay, so we get 2 halves, and then we're going to set one aside, and then we're going to take, and we're going to put it in and score it. When we scored in half, it's at 5 1/2 inches because this is 11 inches. So half of 11 is 5 1/2. And then for the Z fold, we're also going to score at 8 1/4. And so we are scoring, we scored it in half, and then we scored the front half in half as well. And same idea, we fold it in half and then we fold the front back. So this is a Z fold the other direction. So this one is portrait and this one is landscape. Same fold, slightly different measurements. So let's score our others the same way. So this one I already scored in half, but just so if you're following along, we'll do it together. I scored this at 5.5 and then 8 1/4. And you fold in half and back. And then the last one is going to be the same thing. 5.5, we're scoring in half. Move it to 8 1/4 and score the front part in half. And again, these are on the handout, so if you are following along and don't have the handout, you can print that for reference later. So we're just kind of going in order. So we've created 3 Z folds that are portrait, and this is our third Z fold that's landscape. We fold in half, then we fold back, and the front half gets folded back to make the Z fold. Okay, so 3 landscape and 3 portrait Z folds. Okay, there's six of our card bases are ready to go. How are you guys doing? Are you keeping up okay? You guys are awfully quiet. I'm trying not to go too fast, so hopefully you guys, I'm getting some thumbs up. Okay, so you're following along just fine. So we have 2 pieces of cardstock left, and then we have 2 half sheets left, right? We have a short fat and a long skinny half piece left. We put those aside from our Z folds, and then we've got 2 more full sheets of cardstock. So the next card fold that we're going to do is the gatefolds card. So again, there's 2 different measurements, 2 different ways to do it, a vertical card or a landscape card. So let's start with the portrait or the vertical card, and these are going to be the ones that we do with the short fat card bases. There's got to be a better way to to call these short fat. Oh my goodness. I guess that's quarantine talk, short and fat, because that's how I feel after however many days. What are we going on? 80 days, I think, that we've been on lockdown here in Illinois. And I'm definitely feeling a little rounder around the belly. Okay, so I did that quickly. I apologize. I put the cardstock in with the long side at the top, and I cut it 5.5 to cut 2 more pieces. So I've got 3 that are like this, and we're going to score them all the same for the gatefold. Cynthia, the link to the printable is in the description of this video. So I linked to a couple different things. I think the first link is the Share Sunshine PDF link, and then the second one is the card making handout. So you can download that. That's a free PDF on my site. Feel free to print it, share it. I do ask if you are a demonstrator and you want to share it with customers that you just share it as is and not take my name off of it. I had a couple problems with that when I did the double wonder cards, and people just took my name right off the template and reshared it with their own name on it, and that was kind of not nice. So if you want to share my handout, please feel free to. It's free and I'm happy to share it, but just please share it as is and don't take my name off. All right, so we are doing the gatefold. Okay, we've got our 5.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock, and we're going to score this time at 2 1/8 and then 6 3/8. And so what we're doing here, oh boy, this is so hard to see this measurement in here. Okay. 4 1/4. It's hard for me to see the that 6 1/8 is in between It's like the dark measurement. So I think I've got it because I'm lining up my score line with the 4 1/4. So the idea here is that you have 2 skinny flaps that meet in the middle like a gate. Okay, so 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. And if you're having problems with your cutter and not being able to see, you can do 2 1/8 and then turn it around and do 2 1/8 on the other side. And that is probably a lot easier. Oh no, but see, they don't meet in the middle because my cardstock was a little bit longer than 8 1/2 sometimes. And if you do this part first, no, that looks like it's pretty good. Maybe it was just a user error there on my score lines. 2 1/8 and 6 3/8 inch. And I'm gonna do my best to see here. There we go. Okay, so that is the portrait gatefold. And so you should have 3 of those. I just dropped some card bases. I'm gonna have to go grab them. Okay, 3 gatefold cards. And now we're gonna do 3 gatefolds the other direction. So this is the landscape. So I've got one that's already cut, so I'm gonna cut in half again. I'm lining up at 4 1/4. And again, these are just the basic like ways to cut and score your cardstock. I've been doing this for so long that like I just know, but this is an easy guide if you can't remember. Sometimes I used to just put like a little mark on my paper cutter at those basic marks, the 4 1/4 and the 5 1/2. So if you find that helpful to just mark your paper trimmer with those standard score lines, then you can do that. Okay, so with the landscape gatefold, we're going to score at 2 3/4, and that's half of 5 1/2. Okay, and then we're going to score at 8 1/4, so that we have a 5 1/2 in the middle. So this is a regular card front when those sides are folded in. Okay, so we're going to do that again. The first score is at 2 3/4, and then 8 1/4, or if you want, you can just turn it around. I see that some of you are saying to just turn it around and score again on the other side. So this is what you guys are doing. You're doing, is this right? Okay, 2 3/4. And then just flipping it around and 2 3/4 again. Same thing because they're the same measurements. It's half of 5 1/2. Okay, hopefully you followed along okay, and you have 6 card bases that are gatefolds, 3 that are portrait, and 3 that are landscape. And you have 6 card bases that are Z-fold, 6 that are portrait, or 3 that are portrait and 3 that are landscape. A couple of mine fell on the other side of the table, so I'm just going to grab them really quick. They went right over the desk. Okay. Whew. Oh, you know what? We still need our paper trimmer. I just put mine away. But that is the card bases. So I'm going to set the card bases aside because the next part we're going to do, and this isn't on the handout, but the next part we're going to do is the layering, the designer paper, and then the layers for this. Now, I don't have these measurements posted in the video description, but I will add them at the end of the video. But we'll walk through together. So we're going to start with the designer paper. I'm using a 12 by 12 piece of designer paper, and my designer paper is non-directional, meaning that it doesn't really matter which end is up. And I think that even if yours is a directional piece of cardstock or designer paper, that when we start layering them on the cards, I think you'll be able to match them up and use them no matter which direction that they are. Yes, Janice, you need to get a trimmer. I really like this one from Stampin' Up. It's only $25 and it includes the cutting blade and the scoring blade. And like I said, it has that arm that extends out. Really, really super handy. And I highly recommend this trimmer. Okay, so actually, because we're using a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock, I'm going to open up that arm and we are going to cut. This is a really nice measurement for 12 by 12 cardstock. We're going to cut at 4 inches. And we're going to do that again so that we have 3 pieces of designer paper that are each 4 inches. And sometimes I stack up all of my designer paper and cut them at once. So if you want to cut them one at a time, you can, but I find that this trimmer handles it just fine. So I've cut at 4 inches. I've got 3 pieces and I'm going to put them back in the trimmer with the long side at the top, and I'm going to line it up at now 3 inches. And I'm going to cut and then 3 inches again and cut, and 3 inches again and cut. So I've got 4 stacks and each stack has 3 pieces and they are all 3 inch by 4 inch. Again, this is a really great size to cut from a 12 by 12 designer paper because you get an even number and an even size, and you don't have all these extra little bits. So I like this easy designer paper layering because the measurement is so easy. It's easy to remember, it's easy to cut, and you get 12 pieces from one sheet of paper. So we're going to use these to decorate our cards, but I want to layer them a little bit. So we're going to cut the next colored cardstock. You should have 2 sheets, and we're going to cut these to be layers for our designer paper. So you hopefully have picked out colors that coordinate with your card base and your designer paper. So I'm using Pool Party to go with this Dino Roar paper. And I'm going to make the first cut at 4 1/4. So this is cutting the cardstock in half. And I've got 2 pieces that are the same. And then I'm going to cut at 3 1/4. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, and the designer paper layers on there perfectly with a 1/4 inch on the sides, on all the sides. Well, it's an 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch total bigger, and then you get an 1/8 of an inch border. So let's just keep cutting. We're going to cut at 3 1/4 and 3 1/4. We do have an extra little piece. We'll save that for another day. We're not going to use it today. And we're going to cut the same thing. 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4 with an extra little bit for another day. And we're going to cut the second sheet the same way. The first cut is at 4 1/4. And then a whole bunch of 3 1/4. 1, 2, 3. At 3 1/4, 4, 5, 6. So we get 6 layers from 1 sheet of cardstock. So with 2 sheets, we have 12 layers for our 12 pieces of designer paper. Okay, so designer paper is 3 inches by 4 inches, and the colored cardstock to coordinate is 3 1/4 inch by 4 1/4 inch. So just a 1/4 of an inch bigger on each of those. Now, green cardstock is kind of dark, and I don't always do this, but I like to include an inside layer sometimes when I have dark cardstock. So I am also cutting my white cardstock with exactly the same dimensions as I cut my colored layers. So this is 4 1/4 first, and then 3 1/4 and 3 1/4. Saving that for another day. And then 3 1/4. I know I'm going a little fast, but you take your time to cut your layers. I'm going to show you some cards in a second while you're still cutting. So just cut at your pace. I'm going to cut this next sheet again at 4 1/4, and then 3 1/4, and 3 1/4, and 3 1/4. I'm so glad you guys are joining me tonight. This is my regular Thursday night stamp therapy. We do a Facebook Live every Thursday night at 7:10 p.m. Central Time. So if this is your first time joining, give a little heart or a thumbs up. Let me know if this is your first time. If you have been coming around for stamp therapy for some time, then give me a heart and let me know that you're a returning visitor. And I hope that you'll come back. If you're a first timer, I hope that you'll come back. We don't always stamp together. This is kind of just a once a month kind of thing that we stamp together. Sometimes I'm usually just sharing projects. And so I wanted to share some of the projects that I was working on today. So this is for my Stamp of the Month Club. I'm really super late in designing my projects, but I decided to use the Honeybee bundle. I really wanted to use this bundle back in the early winter because we had some really gorgeous coordinating designer paper during celebration, but the dies went on back order, and so we couldn't get them for a long time. So I held off on featuring it, and now the Honeybee bundle is going to retire, and it's not going to carry over to the new catalog. So I decided I'm giving it one last hurrah. So today I was making cards with the Honeybee bundle, and if you're on my Stamp of the Month Club mailing list, I'll be posting some cards and posting the details about getting this month's club kit later tonight after the live. So I can't decide, actually. I usually just do 3 cards, and I've got 4 different designs. So this one's got the flowers and then the beehive. Look at this. It's a Z-fold card, just like what the one we're making tonight. And then this one uses a layout that I just challenged my downline to use. I like the way that one turned out. But this one is my favorite, and I spent quite a bit of time tweaking it and perfecting it. This is called a wiper card. Check this out. Are you guys ready? Boop! Isn't that cool? He just pops out. Oops. Boop. Okay, so I will do another video and show you this another time. This is kind of a little mini Z-fold with another Z-fold over here. So come back to see the wiper card, but I just wanted to show you guys what I've been working on today. This is using that Honeybee stamp set. So if you don't have this one, make sure you get it because it's going away and it's not going to be available after June 2nd. That's the last day to get it. Okay, are you guys done cutting your cardstock? Are you ready to keep going? Let's put our paper trimmer aside, and the next part is just going to be gluing our layers together. So the designer paper layers are going to go onto the colored cardstock, and whenever I'm doing like a lot of cards, swap cards, or making up a bunch of birthday cards, I kind of do an assembly line. So I will put adhesive on several pieces, and then I'll put them together with the layers. And I just find it to be more efficient when you're making a lot of cards. Do you guys make a lot of the same cards, or do you make cards that are unique and different? I know some people don't like to make the same card twice. They like to make things that are special to each person that they're designing cards for. So what is your style? Do you like to make the same cards like we're doing tonight, or would this drive you crazy to make 12 that are so similar? I don't know if you're making cards, then you probably actually won't be able to comment, will you? But if you can, comment. And how many of you started just talking to your screen? Oh, let's see. Jo says she likes to make lots of the same. Angela makes them just for each person. Each person is special. Eva says mostly different except for swaps. Yep. Cindy says I usually make 2 that are identical at a time. That makes sense because you're cutting a piece of cardstock in half, so it's easy to make 2 cards that are the same and then make some different things. All right, so Linda says both. Sharon says it depends. Joanne says she does both. I think it does depend. It does depend on the card, right? So something like the wiper card, you know, you probably wouldn't make like a whole bunch of them. Maybe you would if you really liked it. But one thing that I find is it just depends on the occasion, right? Like Christmas cards is something that I make a lot of the same design. I have a whole list of addresses right now that I need to send sympathy cards to. So I will probably make, you know, like 6 or 8 of the same sympathy card to send out. So it just depends, I think. And I'm sure it's the same for you. It depends on what's going on and the occasions that you have coming up. Oh my gosh, I'm just catching up, and many of you are commenting at the same time, and they're all just coming through. Oh, Cindy, here's the wiper card. I just showed it, but I didn't demonstrate it. So this is going to be another video, another day. So you'll have to come back and see the wiper card. Isn't that fun though? Oh my goodness. Well, I used to make the wiper card. Oh my gosh, we made like a different version. It was like tall. Many years ago. Do you know it's going to be 18 years next month? 18 years that I've been a demonstrator. That's a long time. So I like bringing back some of the projects that we used to do back in the day, and the wiper card was one of them. Like I said, it was a little bit different dimensions. But I liked these dimensions. I was kind of looking up the wiper card again, and I found a whole bunch that were kind of this like split, you know, sort of split. A lot of the wiper cards like they're full length fronts, and then the wiper part comes out at the top. But I liked this one, how it was kind of like half a card front, so it came into the scene a little bit more. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I've got all my layers done. I've got all my inside pieces done, and we got all our card bases done. Now, if you are just joining, you'll have to come back and do the replay to make all the card bases with us. But we're doing just some basic fun folds. So we cut 6 that are Z fold, 3 portrait, 3 landscape, 6 that are gate fold, 3 portrait, and 3 landscape. And this handout is available. It's a link in the PDF, or the PDF link is in the video description. Okay, so the next thing is just to start putting the cards together. So I think with the Z-Fold card, it's best to put the inside layer down first, and then the front layer can center over it, and it's easier to do it that way than to do it the other way around. If you put the front layer on first, then your white layer may like be sticking out behind it if you don't put it in exactly the same place. So by putting the white first, we can make sure that we cover it when we put this down. So I like to put, when I have things that move like this does, I like to use like a heavier adhesive. So you can either use like Stampin' Dimensionals here, or Tear and Tape is a good choice. So when you're gluing the card layer onto your Z-Fold card, the thing that you need to remember, and this is true for the gatefold as well, you only want to put adhesive on half of it because it's only going to stick to one part of the card, the half. If you put adhesive on the other side, you're going to glue your card shut, and that's going to be sad. So we're going to do a little sticky strip there. Not sticky strip, Tear and Tape, and layer that so that we cover up the that white, and then just kind of give it a little rub so that adhesive takes. There's our Z folds. And like I said, you could have it be this way or this way. It doesn't have to be landscape, but that's traditionally how I think of the cards, like this style. Okay, let's do all our Z folds. So we're gonna always do the inside layer first. And then the top layer. And these are just the basic folds, the gate fold and the Z fold. There are lots of folds that start with a gate fold or a Z fold and then build onto it to make something that is different and more involved. So like the wiper card that I just showed you, right? That starts with a Z fold and a second Z fold for the front strip. So like this is a building block for other cards like the wiper card. All right, so we've got that one done. Let's set that aside. Next one, inside layer first. Right in the middle. Now, tonight we're doing just some basic folds and some basic easy layering. So these cards are not complicated. They're easy for new stampers, busy stampers. They're easy when you want to do a lot of cards at once. And I know a lot of you have been making and sending lots of cards right now to friends and family and church family to reach out and let people know that you're thinking about them. And I hope that all the cards that you make tonight, that you will get them in the mail in the next few days, or maybe next Monday on our Mail a Card Monday. You'll be mailing some of your cards. Like I said, I do hope that you'll share the cards that you make in our Share and Connect group so that we can see how your cards all turned out. And if you are making cards with the Share Sunshine PDF, then make sure that you include the hashtag Share Sunshine so that everybody can find your card. Same thing goes for our portrait Z fold. We're only going to do adhesive on one side of the layer, and you want to start with the inside layer first. Oh my gosh, Charlotte, 50 cards. That's wonderful. I am in awe sometimes. You guys are posting about how many cards you're making and sending, and I seriously, it blows my mind how many some of you are making, and masks too. I know many of you are crafty in lots of ways and making masks for people, maybe instead of stamping, your mask making, and it just, it really is impressive how many cards you guys have been making and masks, and it's amazing how when we really focus on something, we can make a difference with the things that we do. And I love this PDF for that reason, this Share Sunshine, because in addition to making cards that we can bless others with, we're also donating and being part of something bigger, and just really cool. Debbie made 46 cards today. Oh my goodness. Wow. Loretta, every Monday I post Mail a Card Monday. So just a reminder to get your cards in the mail, and I just give everybody an opportunity to share who they're sending cards to. So that's it. It's just a little post that I put up on the business page. Mail a card. There's no prize. There's no, anything crazy. Just a little post to share. Inside layer first, and then we're gonna do the 2 strips on the side. Am I going too fast? Are you guys keeping up okay? What was I gonna say? Oh, we need to do a card giveaway. I always do a card giveaway during our Facebook Lives, and I have you guys pick a color or pick a number or something like that, and then I give away one of the cards that we made during the live. So I gotta write something down. Let me see. Where's my little note? Okay, I have a piece of cardstock I'm going to use. What should I have you write down? Okay, I wrote down a month, and this might be cheating if you know me, but that's okay. I guess that's your advantage. The question I'm going to ask you tonight for the free card is, what month is my birthday? Do you guys know? I'll read the answers in the order which I see them. Sometimes Facebook does not show me your answer in the same order that you see them. So as I see them, I'll read them. And the first one to say my birth month will get a card. Oh, Nancy. All right, I'm gonna do two, since Nancy got it last time and she does know me too well. So Nancy said July. The next person to say July is also going to get a card. So we'll see if you guys hear me say the answer before the time lapse catches up. Marcia said July too. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was too easy. So Marcia and Nancy get cards. Marcia and Nancy. Okay, let's do some more card layering. We're moving on to our gatefold cards, and this one for the inside, it doesn't really matter because the card front will completely cover up the inside. So it doesn't matter if the inside matches up to the outside, but I'm still going to go ahead and do it first. And then you still want to use adhesive only on 1/2 when you're doing this, because you still don't want to glue your card closed. So you still just need to be careful about putting adhesive only on 1/2. So let's go ahead and do that. And just like the Z-fold card, even though like this one is, I'm calling this portrait, it can be a landscape card. Like it could work like that. I feel like that's more natural than this way, but you can still do that. So let's just keep going with all of our layers. When I printed out the Share Sunshine PDF, I thought the colors are really cute, but I wasn't sure about how they would go with like the designer paper or colors that I was using. But it's really nice because on the first page, the first couple pages of the PDF, it says, it tells you the coordinating colors. So like page 1, the graphics there, these are the colors, and then these are the products that coordinate, that they're sort of sized to cut with. And you can use other things. You don't have to use just these things to cut them out. But this part was very helpful to me, the coordinating colors, because then you kind of know you can match it up with designer paper and make it look pretty. So the sentiments that I pulled out are using the blue and old olive. Some of them have the mossy meadow as well, and I think maybe that blue might be balmy blue, so it doesn't match exactly, but my designer paper has like some different variations in the blue and the green, and I think technically this is Mango Melody, but the pumpkin pie I think is close enough. So I pulled out the greetings that are colors that match my paper. If you don't have, if none of the greetings match your paper, then you can always use the black greetings that each page and each greeting comes in a color and also in black. This is the first time Stampin' Up! Has done digital stamps like that, so I'm curious to know what you guys think of printing out and using them like that. The reason they did the PDF is so that they could get it out sooner and quickly to all the different markets, because we have Stampin' Up! Demonstrators and stampers all over the world, in the South Pacific, Australia and New Zealand, in Europe, in the UK and Germany. in France. And so they wanted to make sure that they could get this these stamp images, this digital stamp set, out to as many people as quickly as possible. So if they had actually made like a regular stamp set, then it would take many more months to manufacture and get it shipped out to all those places. And a lot of those places are having shipping issues, and it's just hard to get things to those places. Like in New Zealand, they actually shut down shipping completely for like a month, and nobody was getting anything. So I don't know how we would do that over here in the United States, because I think we depend a lot on shipping, right? Like, how many of you have been buying everything on Amazon, right? All that shipping. So I can't imagine if they had done something like that here, and we weren't able to ship products, whether that be just Stampin' Up! Or Amazon or anything. That would be a big shock, I think, to Americans. So let's see, we got our last two cards going. Oh, Tammy, you like the digital stamps. So I printed all 15 pages, and I feel like I haven't used a lot of them. And there's some that I like more than others. So I wish I could just print out the ones that I like and print multiples, but with a PDF that is not really possible. So that's the drawback that I don't like. But I love just the whimsical sentiments and having some options that really speak to the things that we're going through. Lots of wine delivered, Carla. I hadn't even thought about having wine delivered. I don't know. Oh, I think we can have wine delivered in Illinois. My brother, maybe when he was in Pennsylvania, I know that there are states where you cannot have wine delivered. And he used to live in one of them, and so he had some wine delivered to me once. Okay, this is my last card. Are you guys on the same sort of pace with all your layers on your cards? Yeah, I could just print multiples of the pages I like. You're right. And yes, I used my laser printer too. Oh, foil. Tammy, that sounds really fancy. There are lots of ideas. So if you click on the hashtag Share Sunshine, you're going to be able to see all kinds of amazing ideas using this PDF and these sentiments. So the cards we're making tonight, like I said, I know they're pretty basic, but there are some really amazing cards that people are doing, that are a little bit different. Like my walrus card is, a little different and not just a basic card. So if you check out that hashtag, then you will find lots of amazing things. Punch art with these Just Breathe, but wear your mask, like such cute things. So I'm going to take all my sentiments and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back. And maybe you have sentiments that are ready to go and maybe you don't. And that's okay if you don't. You can embellish yours later. And I might add some things to my cards later as well. Like with this dinosaur paper, I'm thinking I might die cut some of the dinosaurs from the other papers and add them to my cards. So I might jazz these up a little bit. The other thing I did not prepare is ribbon. So I'm not using any ribbon on my cards tonight. I did get some out thinking I should incorporate some, what did I get out? The burlap. I think I don't have a lot of ribbon that matches this paper. But you certainly could add ribbon or twine and dress up your cards a little bit more. So I hope that you do, and I hope that you'll share them and show us what you're making. Wine Fairies. Marsha, yes, I'm on that Wine Fairies group here in Champaign, and I've already got dusted It's so much fun. I'm working on some packages that I can send out to other people. Have you guys heard of the Wine Fairies group? Do you have that in your area? I know it's specific to region or city. And the idea is that you go around and you surprise other people with a bottle of wine. Some people are really going all out and doing gift baskets. And I have seen another group where it's snacks that's called Snack Attack. And so like a bag of different snacks. And we had a friend that snack attacked us on Saturday, which was Anna's birthday. So it was just so much fun to get that. And I think that there's another one in Champaign that's like kids stuff. Like, so the wine is the version for adults, and then there's like a kids surprise thing. So that's kind of fun. Those are Facebook groups. So if you are not part of one, you should look in your area, and maybe you'll find that there is one in your area. All right, now it's just a matter of taking dimensionals off and putting our sentiments on the cards. And so we're just going to, I feel like that's definitely going to need like a little dinosaur buddy on there. My dimensional went just over the edge. Oh, see, it would not be a Facebook Live if I didn't tear apart a card. I have to move my dimensional over so that it doesn't go over the edge. Oh, this definitely needs a cute little dinosaur. Don't you think? Like, we'll cut one of these guys out and put them on there. I miss your face. This has dies actually that go with it, so I'm gonna have to do that later. I'll get my dies out and add some things. But I thought that I thought this designer paper didn't look overly dinosaur-y on its own. It just looks like leaves, right? I thought it could pass for just some fun paper and fun colors. This one, I'm just gonna put kind of in the corner. I can't wait to hug you when this is all over. Oh my goodness, I feel like I have lots of people that I want to send that to. Who are you missing during this time? Are you far away from your kids or grandkids? Or maybe just your stamping buddies? And sometimes far away is just the next town over. I feel like we haven't seen everybody in so long. We're talking about doing a family tour this summer as soon as we're able to get out and go visit everybody. Sending love and paper hugs. Oh, Debbie says, I made the cards. I'll add the greetings and embellishments tomorrow. That's a good idea. I don't even know what time it is. How are we doing on time? I have some other cards to show you. So let me, I'm going to pause my greetings and show you these other cards, because if you're at the point where you're done as well, let's see. I want this one to go on a vertical card. There's no place like home for now. Let me show you some of these other cards that I've made. Now, some of you get my little kits every month, and so some of you got a package that made cards like this. So I'm going to show you those. Every month I send out a project kit to my customers who order $40 or more from my online store. That's before tax and shipping. And so I recently sent out the kit for April, and these are what my kits look like. They include materials to make cards and a free gift. And so the free gift for April was pieces of the See a Silhouette designer paper. This is retiring from the annual catalog, but look how beautiful this paper is. It's so colorful and bright. And then the other side, we've got sort of this like watercolor effect, and then a half a package of the Happiness Blooms enamel dots. So this was the free gift, and then I sent everybody some card bases. So I sent out the card bases to do one of the gatefold cards and one of the Z-fold cards in 4 different colors. And then some die cut labels and inside pieces, and then they got the little printouts. So I had pictures. I always have pictures of the projects. Usually the projects are all different, and there's 3 projects. And then every month there's a bonus set of tutorials. So everyone who ordered in April also got to have access to that. I put X's there so you don't have to try to read it close because the link is not there. This is information about the COVID-19 Give Back, the Share Sunshine, and then I included the basic card making folds printout. So let me show you some of these cards that I made. I did the same thing with the gatefold and the Z-fold, and I just used different paper. So this is the See a Silhouette designer paper, and these I embellished a little bit more. I used the same Share Sunshine PDF, and so some of these sentiments you haven't seen me use yet, and I added, this one had an extra strip of cardstock and the enamel dots. This one I added just enamel dots. But it's the same concept that we've been doing, just different paper. So maybe you're using this paper and your cards look similar to this. This is the gatefolds. I just loved these colors. I thought this was such pretty paper. Here I added a punch out of the flower, and I did the 3 dots. And then I just love the blues here. This is such pretty paper. On this one, I took that 3x4 piece of designer paper and I cut off 1 inch, and then I turned the paper around. And so I got like a strip of paper. So I did this a couple times. So here's the other one. I cut a 1 inch off, and then I turned the paper over. And there's one more. I did that on this one. So all 3 of these, it's still the same size 3x4 paper, and I just cut that strip off and turned it over and used the other side. Here's another one. I used a little butterfly punch and some of the dots. So we've got all kinds of different sentiments. Hey, what you doing? Smile. Wish this were a real in-person hug. No doubt. We're in this together. On this one, I layered it with a lovely Label Me Lovely punch. So just to add a little color there. Isn't this paper pretty though? This paper is called See a Silhouette, and it is retiring. So this designer paper is on the last chance list. That's the daisy punch. And it is one of the designer papers, almost all of the designer papers are on sale. So I think any one of them that you, here they are. So Magnolia Lane already sold out, but the See a Silhouette paper is 30% off. It's $8.05 for the package. The Dynaroar paper that I'm using tonight is 40% off. It's $6.90. And look at this, the Follow Your Art paper and the Woven Threads paper, 60% off, $4.60 for a package of 12x12 cardstock paper. It's crazy. Okay, so those are all the See a Silhouette cards that I did. And if you got one of those kits, whether you ordered from me or my team members get to subscribe, and they can get those kits every month for just $5 a month. So some of you guys get those kits in the mail, and you get to make the projects every month as well. So that's a perk for being on my team, is the opportunity to subscribe, because I don't let anybody else subscribe. It's just my team. That's a special perk for them. So if you're thinking about being a demonstrator, I mentioned it at the beginning, we have an amazing special in June, starting on the 3rd. You can get a free bundle of your choice for signing up as a demonstrator. So that is such an awesome deal. I'm going to put this one here. Free bundle. You get $99. No, it costs $99 plus tax, and you get to choose $125 in product and then a free bundle, any price from the new catalog. So it's amazing. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. All right, so I will have to do a little more embellishing on these. Maybe add some of those dinosaurs or some ribbon or bows. So I will post my pictures when I dress them up a little bit more, but I hope that you guys will share your cards too when you finish. Are you guys still working on your cards, or are you just kind of going to save them for another day to finish them up? I'm almost done, and this will have been 12 cards. I don't know what time it is, but I never make 12 cards in an hour, so this is pretty amazing. This is a great template and an easy way to make a bunch of cards. And I think the folds kind of make them fun, you know, like it's not just like a boring note card. It's kind of fun to open it up in a different way. Love conquers all things. It's so true. 2 more to go. Oh, Lee or Tony, you're done already. You want to add some bling? Absolutely. 8:20. Okay, so it's been just over an hour and 10 minutes, or an hour and 5 minutes, or something like that. Just over an hour. 12 cards in 1 hour. I'd say that's pretty darn good. I'm a slow card maker sometimes, like I really take my time. So 12 cards in an hour is pretty amazing. Don't you think? Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to go through all the comments after I get done. So if you've left a question, I'll be sure to answer, or comment back if you just had a suggestion or a tip. And I just want to say I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed making cards tonight, and that you'll enjoy making cards with these templates and these easy designer paper layering tricks, no matter how much you dress them up or change them. I know you're going to do brilliant things. Have a great night. Join me next week for Thursday night stamp therapy, and sometime in the next 5 days, I will be showing the wiper card. So be sure to come back, like and follow my page so you don't miss out. Have a good one, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.